You are Jesus. You're my strong tower, Jesus. My strength is our Jesus. You're my deliverer, yes, you are Jesus. My hope and my future, Jesus. Source and my shelter, Jesus. You're my Savior, keeper, my friend. Lord, I need you to take my hand and see me through. Oh, now I need your grace to find that place you called me to. You crafted me in secrecy, and I know there's a plan that you have for me. Protect me from my enemies. I know that you will rescue me as I rest in thee. You will keep me, 'cause you are Jesus. You're my strong tower, Jesus. My strength is our Jesus. You're my deliverer, Jesus. My hope and my future, Jesus. My source and my shelter, Jesus. You're my Savior, keeper, my friend. And you will finish what you started. Complete what you've begun. Though the enemy has lied and said I'm done, but I know you better than that. You kept me safe this far, and I know that you will show just who you are, 'cause you are Jesus. You're my strong tower, Jesus. My strength is our Jesus. You're my deliverer, Jesus. My hope in the future, Jesus. My source and my shelter, Jesus. You're my Savior, keeper, my friend. You're my Savior, keeper, my friend. Good morning, beautiful people. It's your girl, Bev. Fly with Bev. Butterfly mentality. It's Saturday, August the 6th, y'all. Can you believe it? It's the 8th month of the year. We got about 4 more months left of this year, right? I'm in Durham, North Carolina this morning, and it's a great day to be alive. Hi, Isla. It's a great day to be alive. That song was on my mind when I woke up this morning. And if you want to know what song that was, it's called Keep Me by Patrick Dobson. That song, I don't even know when I started listening to that song, but I know it was like years ago. And good morning, Sister Marilyn. Oh, you're beautiful too. Thank you. And that song has really been, oh my gosh, every now and then it'll come to my mind. And I was just like singing when I woke up this morning. It was in my heart. Like it was playing. I don't know if anybody else has experienced that, but you wake up and there is a song in you, like just singing to you. And so I began to open my mouth and sing it. And, you know, I think in those moments, and these are just my thoughts, I don't know how true it is, but in those moments, it's God's way of encouraging me and allowing me to be able to sing something to him that shows that I love him. So he's my keeper, he's my savior and my friend. And I can always count on him when no one else is around or when everyone is around. So it's not just the when no one else is around, I count on God, because that's like he's my last resort type deal. But I count on him when everyone is present. And I have a lot of people in my life that I could call if I'm having a bad day or anything like that. But the one who always beats everybody and always has a solution, no matter what it is or how painful it may be, that's God Himself. So He is my Savior, keeper, my friend. Oh my gosh, that song is just, you get a chance, look it up. It's Keep Me by Patrick Dobson. Let me see if I can put that in there. Put it on your playlist. On your playlist. And good morning, Sister Dominica. Let's see. Good to be here with you live again, my sister. Absolutely. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, sister. Shawana. Good morning. I'm glad everybody's coming in. I'm a little late this morning because I was having a really good conversation with my best friend. So I'm late on that account. And the conversation was great. But I was like, look, you're making me late. I gotta go. But it was a really good conversation because sometimes you wake up and you don't always feel your best, and there's something on your mind and you want to talk about it or you don't want to talk about it, and someone can tell, like, yeah, something's wrong with you, let's talk about it. And I wasn't trying to talk about it this morning, but I'm actually glad that I did. But I'm grateful for another day. For you all that missed last week's show, we talked about extrovert versus introvert versus omnivert/ambivert. And it was a really good taping. So please, when you get a chance, go back and see it. I also wanted to ask, like, I was told that I have a radio voice or a podcast voice. So I was talking to one of the brothers at First Church, for those that go to First Church, and he told me, he was like, Sister Bev, like, if you were to get on to Shopify and do a podcast, like, you would be surprised how fast you would accumulate, listeners and things like that. He said, because your show is great and I'm listening to you talk and I'm just like, yo, like, she could really be really good doing a podcast. And I'm gonna be honest, I started this live because I don't like recording myself. I don't know why. I just rather be live and talk back to people at the time, but I'm considering it. So, would y'all be willing to listen to my podcast too? I mean, of course, it'll be some of the same material here, but it could be something that you can just play and listen. Oh, thank you, sis. She said, yes, ma'am. So I'm thinking about it, and I'm going to probably go back to um, my earlier tapings of the live show and start doing the voice, for the show as well, and doing both. So I will still plan to go live on Saturdays, but I'll probably do a podcast sometime. I'm going to set a time during the week where I'll do a podcast, and I'll probably do one each week. Just like I'm doing one each week here. And that's how I kept myself consistent. That's how I keep myself consistent. I set a certain time to do a live. So I want to set a certain time in my weekend. It'll probably be Wednesday, God willing, where I'll do a podcast and try to do a podcast instead and do different topics and talk about certain things. So anything is possible on the podcast. And I'm just grateful for him bringing that to my attention, because I was like, I thought about it a while back, but I just didn't want to sit there and just talk to the phone. So I'm going to make it lively and, talk and things like that. So let me see. So I literally have my headphones on listening to you while doing my chores. You're part of the playlist. Hey. Well, thank you. I appreciate you. I'm getting ready to share that I am live really fast, and then I'll get into the topic at hand. But I really did enjoy the topic from last week. I really, really did. I really, really did. Let me see. Hold on. Wait. Wrong. Let me go back. Let me go. I got to find the one that I've been doing this thing where I've been saving my, let me see. There we go. Oh man, I've been saving my stories and stuff. So I'm just trying to find the one that I used to go live for. Come on. So I wanted to today. Oh wait, hold on. Sister Dominica said something. She said, absolutely. I listen to the replay as I do things. It's like a podcast, YouTube premium life. No shade to those who don't have YouTube premium. Girl, I had YouTube premium and I don't have it anymore. So I listen, I know. It's no shade. I don't feel offended. But that joker was kind of a little pricey. I'm like, listen here now. Okay. Okay, let's see. So last week, I really enjoyed my guest people. Like, I don't think they really understand how much I appreciated them being present on the show to talk about introversion. And, it's not all the time where you can actually, see people uh, just all the time. So just to have those conversations with them, I really enjoyed those conversations with my people that were alive with me. It was just a blessing, honestly. Now I'm looking for this. Hold on, because it's starting to get on my nerves here. But the fact that they enjoyed it, and I was laughing because I'm like, yo, my introverts, they're like, okay. So basically, I'm just like, man, I'm just trying to update everybody that I'm live. But basically, I was really excited because the introverts were the only people that did not respond to wanting to be on the show. So I was like, well, let me see if I can get some introverts. Let me put this out here. So when I did it again, they were, they responded. So I was very grateful. But today I wanted to talk about appearance, our appearance and taking the necessary steps to, it's not about putting on a facade or making ourselves seem better than what we are. But think about it. Look at today's society. Look at what all we see out there when we go outside into the big, beautiful world that is supposed to be beautiful. And I'm not talking about the earth and the land because that's going to do what it's supposed to do. I'm talking about the people. Times have definitely changed, standards have dropped, morals and values are like zero for a lot of people. People are into, I'm gonna do what I want to do, wear what I want to wear. I'm not gonna do anything that I think is not unnecessary, things like that. And women are just putting themselves out there, men with these hoochie daddy shorts, women with these hoochie mama shorts, and just bonnets on and rollers and all this stuff in public. Your appearance is very important because it doesn't matter how professional you present yourself. It doesn't matter how beautiful you are or how handsome you look. If you carry yourself, if you present yourself in a way where people will automatically put you, don't get me wrong, people are judging regardless. But I could come into a bank with slippers, a bonnet, and a oversized shirt and a big baggy skirt and walk in there to do my business. And I could come in there and they looking like, what in the world? And I walk up to the counter and I'm just like, yes, I need to do this, I need to do that. And who might I speak with about this? My tone, my wording, everything is just on point. But my appearance is trash. Some people may say, well, it don't matter. They should treat me based off of how I behave, not how I look. Let me tell you something. How you look is just as important as how you speak. Because think about it. Somebody could be dressed to like I'm talking about nice hat, nice outfit, nice shoes. And all of a sudden they start cussing. You can be like, what in the world? Like they look nice, but they sure don't know how to talk to nobody. They're rude, they're disrespectful. And it's the same thing. You could talk and just have the most manners that you can have, but your appearance says a lot. It's the first thing people see. It's just like going to a job interview with a wrinkled shirt. You have all the right qualifications. You have everything that you need to present yourself correctly to the job, to the manager, but you got a wrinkled shirt on, which means that you don't care about how you look. You don't care about all you caring about is, well, shoot, I'm qualified. So, and I'm not talking about the people that don't have much. I'm not talking about the people that are less fortunate. I'm not talking about the people that are homeless or, that they're living a paycheck to paycheck. They don't have money to like buy clothes. All they can do is just really just afford their bills. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the people that want to be valued and treated with respect and can afford to look the part and be the part. There is a way that we should always think about presenting ourselves. And I don't even know if I've talked about this before because sometimes I'm telling you, I don't go back and look at stuff. I'm a very spontaneous, do it and keep it moving type woman. So I don't always go back and listen at the things that I put out there. But I do know for the most part that certain topics I have yet to talk about. But just think about it. And good morning to those that are just coming in. Just thinking about just your appearance and the way you carry yourself. The first thing on you, getting up in the morning, you should always have a morning routine for how you do things. Walking outside without washing your face and brushing your teeth is already a no-no, right? So we don't try to do that, right? So we wash our faces, we brush our teeth, we take a shower, we do all those necessary things for the body. But what we put on our body is just as important as what we do to our body. And so, yeah, you may have just taken a really nice shower, you smell good, all that good jazz, but you don't look good. I'm the type of woman where even if I go to the grocery store, I dress presentable. I'm not the type of woman that going to the grocery store with just throwing on anything. Well, I'm just going to the store. My mom always tell us, make sure when you go outside, you look presentable, you look decent because you never know what could transpire. God forbid you get prepared to go outside just to do one thing. But then God forbid you get into a car accident, or God forbid you see somebody, and you're looking a mess. You look crazy, your hair all over the place, your shirt look wrinkled, but yet I was just going to the post office. And now you like somebody is stuck with this image in their head of you, like, what in the world did she have on this morning? My mom just always been like that. She just always told that you never know what can happen. So you got to stay presentable. It's just like keeping your house clean because you never know what can happen. God forbid something happens where somebody got to come pick you up because of this, because of that, or, you always want to carry yourself in a manner that's very presentable. So me being the type that's very appearance conscientious, if I can use those words together, I don't know, but whatever. I'm very conscientious about the way I carry myself. I'm very self-aware about the way that I carry myself. I'm very, particular about how I present myself with my clothing. Now, somebody may not like what I have on, but it does not mean that I am not presentable. Does not mean that I have not taken the time to make sure that what I have on is not going to make me or my family embarrassed, or even the church. For those of us that do go to First Church, we have a certain way, and we're taught like don't go out there looking any kind of how. And just hearing about how women present themselves and how they're going, and there's no shade to those of us that are still dealing with these things. I'm not trying to be funny, but I'm just being dead serious. There's a certain way that we should carry and present ourselves in the public eye, because when you're at home, you're at home. Me, I got on my sweatshirt because I'm always freezing at the house. And when I go out, I'm not wearing this sweatshirt because it's going to be hot outside. But inside the house, I got my nice sweatshirt on. I'm cozy. I'm not even trying to worry about, the temperatures outside because I feel good on the inside because it's freezing in here. But you start about, and what I want to focus on is just from the top of your head to the soles of your feet. Somebody used to say you can tell a lot about a person by the way by the shoes that they have on. And I don't really know what that means. So maybe somebody could drop that in the comments, what they think that means, or what they were told that means, that you can tell a lot about a person by the shoes that they wear. And sometimes I think when I think of that, I think that maybe they don't really care too much about their appearance because they're willing to wear any type of shoes. Or maybe they're not materialistic because of the type of shoes that they wear. So, starting from the head on down, first things first, what does your hair look like before you go outside? Like, did you wash your hair? Good morning, Mama Francis. Did you wash your hair? Did you put whatever shine to it that needs to be put? And I'm not talking about just women. I'm talking about men too, because men walk around looking like they have spiders having a meeting on their head too. Did you brush your hair this morning? Whichever way you brushing it. If you're brushing it all the way up, does it look presentable? If you brushing it back down, you brushing it all around. Whatever you got to do. Did you take the time to do something with your hair? Like, I have my twist and stuff because it's easy for me to put my oil on my hair, my scalp, all that good jazz, pull it down, put my hat on. That's that. The hair is done. Okay. And then after that, did you wash your face? That's the first thing that you normally should do when you get up. After you pray and do all the things you need to do to get out of the bed and all that good jazz, wash your face. Wash your face and you brush your teeth, floss, mouthwash, right? These may be basic essentials, but it's like all those things are important. I got all that stuff in there. I got a tongue scraper. Someone gifted me with a tongue scraper and I'm very grateful. I don't know if they were trying to tell me something, but but I love stuff like that. So, just things of that nature where, okay, this is taken care of. And then I normally put, then you put lotion on your face. Lotion. If you use lotion, I'm a cocoa butter or a coconut oil girl. So I have my cocoa butter that I put on my face in the winter time, though. I normally use this in the winter, but I still have it. But I normally use this in the winter. But I have coconut oil that I use every other time of the year. Good morning, beautiful people. Those that are coming in, we're talking about your appearance. And you can feel free to write in the comments what you think is essential for your appearance as well. And why do you think your appearance is so important? Feel free to put in that too, because I think in the title I put, is your appearance, do you care about your appearance? How do you know? And what do you do to consistently maintain your being presentable, basically? So after I do all that, then after that, of course, your body, your clothes, you have to put on your clothes, you have to put on your layers, so if I have a shirt, of course, I'm old school. I put on an undershirt with just about anything or everything because I still want to make sure I'm presentable, that my shirt lays on me a certain type of way, that everything that I have going on underneath is still laid presentable. So I put on my undershirt. Yes, and even in the summer, because you can be hot and your clothes will stick to you. So if you put on an undershirt, that protects your outer garment from sticking to you. So to speak. And that way, if you're sweating or whatever, it will soak up in the one underneath it and not the one on top. But of course, ironing your shirt, ironing your bottoms, men, your pants, women, your skirts, like ironing those things, making sure they don't have wrinkles or stains on them, like making sure. Now, I get it if you've already got to your destination and you spill something on yourself, because I can be a bit clumsy and I can definitely be eating something, and before you know it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't spill this on me. What in the world am I gonna do? So I gotta go in the bathroom and scrub myself. I'm just like, ugh, it makes me mad. But basically, if you have a collared shirt, making sure that that collar is crisp around, whether you're male or female, because I'm a collared shirt woman, so I love to wear collared shirts, making sure it's crisply ironed. Ironed is crisp. And basically inside the shoulders and stuff is ironed very well. And if you have a crease going down, you only got one going down, not double creased. My dad used to get on us about that when we were kids. If we ironed anything, he'd be like, don't double crease it. Make sure you use the same crease that you had the last time. So I'm very adamant about that. One crease, okay? And, you put it down both and make sure it's equivalent to the other one. And then if you're wearing a regular shirt, like I said, making sure the sleeves are ironed, making sure that as you examine yourself, everything fits the way it should. Nothing's too baggy, nothing's too tight. Your appearance means everything. And sometimes you are treated based off of the way you look. You carry yourself in a manner where you earn that respect automatically, because when I went to this job interview, I like to go to job interviews dressed with my a high waist skirt if I can, with an ironed white button down shirt with a black necktie. I like to put on like a female necktie where I make like a little bow of it and whatever. And then I, wear my hair in a way of business form where I'll probably pull it back into a bun or something like that, or put it up into a bun. It just depends, but it's wrapped with a scarf to keep everything very conservative. And so I remember going to this interview, and I went in there, and the lady was like, "Oh my gosh." She was like, "I really hope you get this job." She was the secretary or the front desk lady. And she was like, "I really hope you get this job." She was like, "Because you look great." She said, "So many people come in here and they're not dressed the part. They come in here looking any kind of how, trying to have an interview, for a job, and they don't even look like they want the job." She said, "But you actually look very presentable." So, and what's so crazy? I ended up getting that job. I ended up getting that job, and I was the first one in that job. They started a float pool at Duke years ago, Duke University, and I interviewed, and I was the first person to get hired in the float pool. So just the fact that you present yourself in a certain way, it does start people believing in you. And how you speak will keep them believing in you or make them doubt you. It's just as simple as that. So your presentation of yourself is the first thing that people see. It's the first thing that people meet. So if you coming in there with the wrong type of shirt, you looking a certain type of way, everything, you got the buttons mixed up. So the button that should be at the top, that's button, it's the second button that you button, and you ain't even pay attention to see whether or not you was well put together. You just put it on, came in there doing this, doing that, talking this, talking that. Okay, they're going to hear what you got to say, but you kind of made them doubt you because you're not even presentable. So people doubt you sometimes based off of your appearance. They doubt whether you're competent enough. And although that's a judgment that should not be had, it's still you being known by your look, by the way you're carrying yourself. So a man that goes into an interview with a tie and a suit, but he got his shirt untucked, that's not going to be presentable. They're going to be looking like, okay, he did look nice, but he got his shirt untucked. Like, what does that say about him? Why is he even trying to interview looking like that? That's not presentable. So it's just a thing of putting yourself in a certain aspect. Now, when you look back at the vintage eras, and yeah, I'm going to talk about vintage because I love it. Okay. I love vintage. I may not always have on the attire, but I definitely love the old school way of doing things. If you look and Google vintage in the 1940s, vintage in the 1950s, because anything that's at least 20 years old is considered vintage. Anything 100 years old is considered antique. Just to clarify. Yes, I do research on vintage because I love it. But you want to really think about what those times really exuberated and what they really did showcase. They showed class, they showed dignity, they showed self-respect, they showed self-love, self-care, self-appreciation. Like all of these things about the way you carry yourself is not just I want to be a good person. Well, you got to also display that you value what you look like on the outside too. Is a balance that you have to have in your life. Let me see. These are good pointers, Sister Darwinika. Thank you. Some people are not taught these things. No matter how much money you have, presentation is a love thing. Love yourself enough to present yourself well. Exactly. Which is kind of coincided with what I was just speaking. So that's great. We're on the same page. Basically, you're showing that it's not even about other people. When you're presenting yourself based off of what you want to give other people. You don't want to give them mess. You want to give them your best, right? So I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but it did. But think about it. If I'm presenting myself in a certain manner, I'm showing them that I care about me, that I love me, and I'm conscious of the way that I present me. So if you look back at the 1940s, 1930s, 1950s, 1960s, and you see the way the men dress, all the men, and a lot of these pictures, they have hats on, right? They have the boater hats, or they have on the paperboy hats, or they have on the fedoras. They have on the bowler hats. They're nicely dressed. They're classy. Their pants look well tailored and fitted to them, not too baggy, definitely not too tight. They are really exuberating and showing us a certain level of self respect and class. And I'm gonna be honest, you don't see that often. A lot of men today, their color schemes and the tightness of the suits and, just following a certain fashion trend is not what it used to be. It can be a lot, to like, and it's a lot of masculinity is no longer in the world today. A lot of men, if you find a man that's a real man and walking like a real man, talking like a real man, acting like a real man, being a real man, working like a real man, that's a blessing because it's not everywhere. Like I grew up around men that were very masculine and still are to this day, very masculine and very chivalrous. So, making sure the one opening the door, things like that. I grew up around, men that wore their pants very specific, and they didn't try to fit in with today's fashion or anything like that, but they still have a very beautiful, modest way of doing things for the most part. And it's like, oh my gosh, like to see the transition, to see my uncles and them, they're older now, but the younger generation of men and things like that, it's like the dress code is totally different, and, even with dress down attire, it's like, ooh, like that's a bit much. Everybody wants the most fanciest type stuff, but you may not even wear it in the way that it should be worn. And it's just a way of presentation. And yes, a lot of people aren't taught this, but you can learn as time go on to educate yourself. Some people are so into the modern day fashion or the modern day world that they, everybody doesn't want to stick out. Everybody don't want to be different. Some people want to stay right within where they're at and not care about anything else. But if you look back at the 1910s, 1920s, 1930s, 1940s through like the 80s, maybe, I think the 70s is where I would drop off. If you look back at those eras, at a time during the different, times of life, like the Depression, things like that, wars, all that good jazz, you could see even the women like taking it upon themselves. When I was doing research, I learned that during the time that men were sent off to war and things like that and working so hard, women took it upon themselves to invest in themselves. They began to dress a certain type of way. They began to have a certain type of status within themselves where they would say, I'm going to dress like this. I'm going to dress like that. I'm going to put more effort into the way that I look out in public. And also they begin to, look a little more fancy. Fancy. And I'm not saying that you have to dress like that in order to be respected. I'm just saying you carry yourself in a way where people automatically respect you because of your presentation of yourself, because of the presentation of how you look. You come in there with a scarf wrapped around your head like you just got out of the bed. You come in there with slippers on. You come in there with a big baggy t-shirt like you really just got out of the bed. You really think people are going to look at you in a way that they should respect you? If anything, they're not going to find much to respect, to be honest. But if you look at the way that the women presented themselves in the vintage era and how they came out dressed to impress, some people may say, well, it's not all about what you wear, it's about who you are. Okay, like I said earlier, it is a balance. It's about presentation of the outer and presentation of the heart and the mind. You want to also have not only the look, but the mind. There is definitely a balance. Some people are taught just throw on whatever you got, and then just go out there. And if you can afford better, then you need to do better. You know, like I said, the way that even the women, they wore dresses that covered themselves. They may have been layered and they kind of flared out and, they cinched in at the waist and they flared out and their heels weren't too, out there, but they were nice. There were some heels though that were out there. Um, but I know that time of dressing was to me a lot better and a lot more respected and a lot more self-respected. It's about self-respect. That's really what it is, because you cannot demand respect for something that you have not put out there to be respected. How can you demand anybody to respect you if you have not shown that you respect yourself? It really all starts with you. You just want to throw on something, and then you go out there and somebody looking at you like, what in the world? And then you want to get mad with them and say, oh, you're going to respect me. How should I respect you? You don't even respect yourself enough to come out presentable. And then you want to say, I can do whatever I want to do. It's a free country. Yeah, it is a free country. But the way you look is very expensive, because sometimes you can get put in situations based off of the way you carry yourself. Sometimes you can be judged or looked at wrongfully because of the way that you carry yourself. And some people may say, well, that's not my fault. It can be your fault. It can be your fault by the way you're treated based off of the way you present yourself. And you really have to understand that who you are as a person goes beyond just how you talk and how you walk. It's really how you present yourself. And it's not being fake or phony, but you want to present yourself in a way that you will gain people's respect based off of the way that you carry yourself and the way you treat other people. So it's everything in one. I can be really nice to people and speak with an education and do all these things, but if I don't have self-respect to the point where I present myself in a certain manner, how am I going to get that job? How am I going to keep that job? Because the way you dress at an interview, that's going to let them know how you plan to dress when you're working. Okay, you're going to a bank to interview, but yet you got a low-cut shirt on and you got a mini skirt or whatever the case may be. And I'm not just talking about women, but, or the man, he got on the tie, but he got his shirt untucked. They're going to be looking at you like, you ain't working here like that. You're not going to be working here like that. There are women that may be working and they tell them like, hey, your blouses are cut too low. You need to present yourself better. Then they have to straighten up, because there's a certain way that they like for their employees to be presented. So there's a certain level of self-respect they want to see in each employee. You can't be offended by that. They have a certain standard. They have a certain standard, and they don't want to give off the wrong message. And they don't want to see anyone being treated disrespectfully due to the way they carry themselves. Whether you believe it or not, it's still a thing of importance to carry yourself in a presentable manner, because that can influence the way someone treats you. It may not be popular nowadays, but it's still right. And somebody may say, oh, well, Bev, that's just your opinion. I don't have to dress like this in order to get respect. I can dress however I want to dress and people still respect me. Okay, but do you respect yourself? Do you even respect yourself? Do you even love yourself in order to keep that modest apparel, in order to keep that secretive, keeping yourself secretive? Many people don't understand that. They may look at you and say, And, it's more than just a religious thing too. Because yes, I'm religious, and yes, I was taught to cover myself and to respect myself and to present myself in a way where I can be treated correctly. I was definitely taught that from a young girl. My mom and them would not allow me to come outside with a skirt that was too tight, or a shirt that was too low neck, or a shirt that had my arms and stuff all out. My mom and dad would not allow that. They taught me how to respect myself so that I could be respected. But there are some people that don't go to church that still have the same morals and values. There are some people that still carry themselves in a way of self-respect, and they have never stepped foot in the church since they were born. But that is very rare nowadays, because people are just so bent on or so focused on doing whatever they want to do that they don't give a care about what is the best to do, the best thing to do. It's not about doing what you want to do, wearing what you want to wear. It's about doing what's best and wearing what's best to wear. And setting a, how do you say it? Setting a standard for yourself. Setting a standard for yourself and actually believing that what you're doing for you is for you to feel good, for you to feel confident, for you to feel comfortable, for you to be able to say, this is how I'm presenting myself. That way, if you're disrespected based off of what you wear, it's not because of anybody else. I mean, it's not because of you. It's because of other people. It's because they feel the need to disrespect you, not because you're not carrying yourself in the manner that needs to be respected. And I think that's the thing. So that's why I look back at the vintage era, and I actually want to get back into that, dressing, when I dress up, dressing a certain type of way from the vintage era and bringing that back. So be on the lookout for some things because I really have some things in the works. And I just recently got my LLC. So that's news, good news, that is, for my business, for my businesses. So I'm definitely working on some things and trying to bring that back full circle. And for those that want to participate, they are more than welcome to. And for those that don't, it's your prerogative, and I'm not telling you what to do, but I'm letting you know that being presentable is still important. It's still as important as being a good person. Thank you, Mama Francis. It's still as important as being a good person. There's an inward person that you need to take care of, and there's an outward person you need to take care of. Not that you're split personality, but your outer being needs to be taken care of just as much as your inner being. Just as much as you want to eat all the right foods and all that other stuff and work out and, not talk about people behind their back and pray and do all those things. And there's a certain type of way that you must present yourself as well in the public. Because if you're a parent, what you do, your children will mirror. They will mirror what you do. If they really truly love you and respect you as they should, they will mirror what you teach them. What you do before your kids gives them the opportunity to set up a certain standard within themselves. And I've watched my father and my mother year in and year out, carry themselves in a manner of respect, self-respect, confident. My father, man, I was just telling somebody the other night, I said, I hung out with my father a lot as a little girl. And I have never, to my knowledge, seen my father step foot outside without looking presentable, confident, strong, demanding that respect just in the way that he carried himself. And I hung out with my mom, but not, and she was always presentable too. But as a little girl, I was always up underneath my father. And I do know that I mirror him in a lot of things. My dad is militant, and he's very particular in the way that he allows people to treat him. And he will very much tell you, like, no, we're not having that, in a heartbeat. And I value those things because my father is not a pushover. He's not the type of man that's just going to let you treat him any kind of way, especially when he presents himself inwardly and outwardly in the best way possible. And I have mirrored that. I have mirrored that. My mom taught me to never walk outside without looking presentable. And I have done the best that I could with that. And even if I feel like I just want to throw something on, I always have to do something in particular to make sure I present myself in a way where I will not embarrass myself or my family. And I think that is something that has really gone out of the earth almost, where people really care about how they present themselves. They don't care about that anymore. It's just in their minds, this is what I'm going to do. Ain't nobody going to stop me. I'm big and bad enough to do whatever I want to do. And I'm not thinking about how I look to other people. Okay, it's not a thing of thinking about how you look to other people, but how do you want to present yourself? And ask yourself, the way I'm walking around as a woman, would I want my daughter to walk around the same way? Would I want my son to walk around the same way if I'm carrying myself a certain way as a man? And if you can't say yes to that, then you got to start by being an example yourself. You have to start by saying to yourself, if this is not what I want my child to look like in 20 years, 5 years, presently, then I need to do something different because I have to dress my child and my child is watching me. And I never want them to feel like they have to look a certain type of way or they then do whatever they want to do. Because it's very hypocritical of a parent to try to dress your child a certain way, but yet you're carrying yourself in a certain way. You really think your child's going to hear anything you got to say? But if you lead by example, if the child deters from that or chooses a different option, then that's on them. But I know for a fact, I never seen my mom wear a mini skirt. And I'm not saying that she didn't do that before she came into the faith and things like that. I don't have nothing to do with that. But my mom carried herself very ladylike all my life. So I don't have any excuse to walk around here and to not carry myself in a manner that's presentable, because I want to be treated with a certain level of respect and I demand that. And I'm not going to settle for anything. I'm going to get that or else I will dismiss you. It's just as simple as that. And it's just, if a man blows his horn at me, let it be because he think I'm beautiful, not because I'm dressed a certain type of way that attracts his attention in a manner that it shouldn't. Have I been blowed at before on the side of the street? Absolutely. Was I completely dressed and covered? Absolutely. But at the same time, I did not entertain it. I kept walking. And I said, I know you're not going to me. We ain't having that. I'd be like, no, I'm not doing that. So it's just a man. It's not even just a man versus woman thing where, I got to dress a certain type of way so a man won't, look at me any type of way. And if they do, because a man is going to be attracted to what he's attracted to. But at the same time, I don't want to give him anything that's going to put me out there in a way that's going to make him feel like he can try me. They call it temperature check. See how far he can get with me. I want to carry myself in a way that he actually thinks twice about what he's going to do or what he's going to say before he says it. And if he says something wrong, I want him to be convicted in his mind to be like, you know what? I shouldn't have said it to that girl. She really, oh man, she carries herself very respectfully. I just really was disrespectful. Let me go back and get this thing right. And that has happened. So, men folk, just there is a way to be, presented as well. And I keep referring back to the vintage era because I'm telling y'all, when you get a chance, just go look it up if you haven't in a long time and see how they carried themselves and just see how they lived and how they, dressed and things like that. And I'm telling you, it's beautiful. Thank you, Sister Darwinika. I know, because what's so crazy? I had my goal. I said in July, I'm going to get my LLC. And, the time comes around and I didn't write it down, I don't think. But the time came around and I submitted my paperwork and everything like that. And by God's permission, I received it. So I'm grateful. And now I'm getting all this doggone scamming mail and I'm just like, listen, I ain't got time for the foolery. But that's what I want to put back into the world and put back into the minds and the hearts of people, just the vintage era and the vintage eras, should I say. So the 20s to the 70s, I think, is what I love to see. But, color schemes and things like that are important for those times, and now we're living in a day where people can still be modest, but even down to your shoes, because I sell shoes as well. I still sell my shoes. Should I say I'm still marketing my shoes, but I haven't been doing much with them because I've been working on my other stuff. So I'm coming out with everything at once, probably in different manners. And good morning to those that are in and out. Just talking about your appearance and things like that and why it's still important to you and what can you do to maintain it consistently. And that's just creating a routine for yourself, creating a routine where you really take care of yourself, whether that's ironing your clothes at night or iron them in the morning, or making sure you take a shower for one, or a bath, whichever one suits you, and taking the time out to really invest in what you wear, your wardrobe, what you wear, making sure you don't have anything with holes in them and stains and smells. Make sure you wash your clothes. Make sure you put everything in bleach that should be in bleach and everything that should be in just Gain or Tide, then make sure that's in Gain or Tide. Make sure you're not putting bleach in your color clothes, and before you know it, you walking around with an accidental tie-dye shirt. Because you didn't bleach the black shirt or bleach the green shirt or whatever the case may be, and you still want to wear it out in public. Like, no, there's a certain way to present everything in your life, and it starts with you. It's not about other people. It's about what do you want people to see when they see you? You want them to see mess, ratchetness, foolery, or do you want them to see class, style, dignity, self-respect, self-love? It's not about proving a point to people. Just about giving them something to look at that's admirable. You're not doing it for people. You're doing it for yourself. But when you carry yourself in a nice way, people will admire that without you knowing. You don't want them to remember you as, oh, that's the person that always looked dirty. That's the person, every time I turn around, they got on something busted. Every time I turn around, they just look jacked up. Like, what in the world? It's crazy. Let me see. Sister Darwinika said, presentation for me growing up was presented the wrong way. People put on to outdo others, even if it meant their kids were without. So I said I would do my best not to care about apparel. Right. And that's the thing. It's never to showboat or never to compete with other people. Because yeah, a lot of parents that I've grown up, I've heard about people that have put so much into themselves, but their kids look a mess. Their kids look a mess, or vice versa. The kids look really great, which is good, but the parents look a mess. You can't forget about yourself. So let me see. She said, in me trying to rebel against that many occasions because of the way I look, I wasn't taken serious. So I worked on changing much about my look and speech, and the way people treated me changed. I already had a certain level of respect from them. Now, thank God for holiness to help me improve more. Exactly. And people don't really realize that. You don't carry yourself in a certain manner. You're trying your best. And that's the thing. Like you said, people don't take you seriously sometimes when you present yourself in a certain type of way. And you really have to work hard to gain their respect based off of who you are. But if you carry yourself in a certain manner, and I do believe a woman that wears skirts and dresses that are presentable, like long, not too tight, because women can wear clothes that are too tight on their chest area, too tight on their butt area, hip area, thigh area. All that is just way too tight. So they don't even get that respect. But if a woman comes in with a certain, way that she's carrying herself, is not too tight, not too loose, not too baggy, and she presents herself in a certain manner. Like I've had doors being held open for me, people, oh no, you can go ahead, ma'am. Oh, thank you. Sometimes I'll be like, I'm calling me ma'am, but in my head, I'm like, shoot, I don't care. Just let me go in the line a little earlier. It don't matter to me, because of the way you present yourself and the way you carry yourself. You're not out there loud and obnoxious and all over the place and things like that. So people see that, just by your attire, and they can really look at you and treat you in a certain manner. But I do get that though, you don't want to invest in things the wrong way. And when things are presented the wrong way to you, you can look at it and say, well, I don't want to be like that. So I'm going to not care about, now don't get me wrong, I don't care about name brands. I recently, have name brand shoes, but I'm not a name brand girl. Like I wore name brand glasses, Prada, I think, but that's because my insurance covered it except for $9. Other than that, I would not have bought them glasses. I've never worn a Louis Vuitton bag. I had a Coach bag that somebody gave me, but I gave that away to my sister because I was like, that's your speed, not mine. That's not what I do. And I'm just like, it doesn't mean that I hate people that wear those things, but I still can get the same amount of respect from somebody by wearing a Steve Madden bag, which I do have a Steve Madden bag, and it ain't that popular to certain people. I got it from Marshall's. That's the only reason why I got it. But the whole Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Burberry, all that stuff, I can live a life without that. That's not my cup of tea. In fact, I feel like that makes me more of a target. If they see I got a Walmart bag, or they see I think I bought an Adidas bag. That's name brand, but that's what do you call those pouches that go around the front? A fanny pack. For when I went to, that's when I went to Carowinds, I think. Yeah, Carowinds. I think that was Carowinds. It might have been somewhere else. But the point I'm making is, I don't have to dress in name brands to be respected, but I do have to carry myself in a certain type of way outwardly, just by being a lady, just by dressing like a lady. You get treated like one. It's one thing to be a woman and get treated well because you're just simply a woman. But it's another thing to be a lady, to be classy, and to automatically like get that respect because of the way you are as a woman, as a lady, should I say. Because somebody could let you go before them because you were born a female, but you may not even be worthy of that because you don't even carry yourself in that manner. You out there looking a mess and want people to respect you. Like, no, that's not even something that someone should even have in their minds. Well, I mean, I am a woman, so no, but you're not a lady. You're a man, but you're not a gentleman. You're a man because you got older and you're an adult. You're a woman because you got older and you're a female. Like, No, but a lady and a gentleman, two totally different people. And I do plan to have someone on here for etiquette for women. And I'm thinking about getting a brother on here to talk about, men and how they should carry themselves too. So to go a little bit more in depth. So I don't want to go too much into like character wise, but as far as your appearance and things like that, the do's and don'ts. Yes, go out with your clothes ironed and clean and smelling good. Go out that way. Do not go out in a way that you just rolled out of bed. Like that is so like not okay. It's really not. It's really classless. Classless and tacky. That's what I'm looking for. I want to get some good words. Classless and tacky to go out looking like that. And if you feel comfortable being that way, then you should feel comfortable with not even being respected. Because you're showing people that you don't really have to respect me because I don't even respect myself enough to carry myself in a presentable manner. So don't be surprised when people disrespect you. Don't be surprised when people overlook you or roll their eyes at you or treat you in a manner that you don't think you should be treated because you're not even carrying yourself in a way where they should even treat you with respect. Get mad at me all you want. It is what it is. I'm not going to bite my tongue. Some people may say, well, it's not about all what you wear. You can wear whatever and they still will disrespect you. You can dress nice and neat and they'll still disrespect you. Yeah, but why are they disrespecting me? Have I said something to them to make them disrespect me? Have I, made them feel like they could get over on me? Yeah, sometimes being a religious person, some people do think they can get over on you. They do think that they can treat you any kind of way. You're just supposed to take it. But I guarantee you, when B. Harris start talking, they're going to be like, oh, so she don't play that. No, I don't. Like, I don't know why you think you should say the things that you're saying to me, but I'm going to tell you right now, nah, I ain't going for that. There are ways to present yourself where they'll think twice about it. I had a coworker not too long ago, and I just get into this heated discussion in one of the group chats. And I wasn't wrong. I wasn't wrong. And she really treated me like, she was just going off on me or whatever. And me, I'm a nice person, but I feel like I've gotten this streak of anger in me a little bit. And I ain't gonna let nobody talk to me any kind of how without showing you. Like, nah, we ain't having that. She knows what I believe. She knows what I stand for. She's heard of my pastor. She know what I'm being taught. So I said, okay. So when I saw her in person, she said, good morning. Good morning, ma'am. I said, good morning. And she was like, I think it hit her like, oh, snap. I didn't do right by her. I did do her wrong. Okay, she feeling some type of way. Man, I messed up. Bev, don't play that. I don't come at you sideways. Don't come at me sideways. So that's all I did. I never fussed her out, never laid her out. I wanted to have a conversation, but something told me not to. So I just began to just, hey, I got a question. Just going to her back about work and stuff like that. She looked like she was happy, like, oh my gosh, she let it go. Okay, we can talk now. Yeah, we can talk now. But I guarantee you one thing. It didn't happen again. It didn't happen. So there are times when people do take your religious beliefs or you being soft spoken, as a light thing. They take it for granted or they feel like, she ain't really gonna say nothing. Let me tell her how I feel. Well, I'm one of those women that honey, you're gonna hit a brick wall with me because I'm gonna let you know. Or, sir, I'm gonna let you know. And I don't care how you feel about it. You can feel like I'm out of order all you want to, but I'm checking you. Okay. So that's how I am. But as far as my presentation of myself, I value that. And I always want to make sure that the way I present myself is beautiful and it's classy. And I'm still learning how to dress down because I'm telling y'all, I used to put on heels all the time. It didn't matter. And I used to wear sneakers years ago, but I'm getting back into wearing sneakers. I actually have accumulated a couple pairs. So I'm really excited about that. My Walk in Me sneakers, I have those. Now I'll wear my own name brand. I'll wear my Walk in Me stuff because that's name brand to me because that's my name, Walk in Me. So yes, I got my LLC concerning Walk in Me and another business that I have coming forward, God willing, soon enough. and I have my goals and everything set in place. So I hope that you all got something out of this today. It's not really a deep subject for some people, but it's definitely something that I value and something that I take seriously. So I love you all. I hope you all have a great weekend. I don't really have much planned this weekend, but I may try to find something to do. Maybe I watch a movie. It's been a long time since I just sat still and watched a movie. I've watched TV, but I haven't really like watched a movie in a while. So just want to say from the bottom of my heart that I love y'all. Thank you for joining me on today. I still got 5 people hanging in there with me. So thank y'all so much. And of course, I have to end with my song. Oh, may God be with you. Oh, may God be with you. Oh, may God be with you till we meet again. Oh, may God be with you. Oh, may God be with you. Oh, may God be with you till we meet again. All right, everybody. Yes, I got a lot out of this. I'm trying to get back into taking care of myself. Absolutely. Have a great one, y'all. Love you. Bye.